cords on for a few minutes, but kind of raises something. Well, three ideas really that all point to the same thing. The first one is a wonderful statement by Jim Rohn. He said, "Wherever you are, be there." And along those lines, Eckhart Tolle said, "Stress is caused by being here and wanting to be there." So it's this reference to how now is the thing, and wherever we are, we should be focused on that. And that brings me to, it's a shame that Brad Smith, an apology for the call this morning, but in the Heart Leadership book, I share one of Brad's stories, and it's entitled "Now Over Normal," which I think is really insightful. Because almost everyone, it seems to me, is talking about the new normal. I don't want to go back to normal. In fact, I don't like normal at all. And so Brad's story, which came from the CEO of his company, and Brad's taken it a step further with his employees, where they're appreciating now and acknowledging now, regardless of what might happen. And so they've chosen now over normal. And so I think these insights from Brad, but also from Jim Rohn and Eckhart Tolle, tell us something about both winding up and ramming down. The idea is that now is the only moment that really matters. What are your thoughts?
My normal is totally different to everybody else's normal. So for me to go back to say I want to go back to normal, well, first of all, I have to work out what that normal was. And most of it was driven by deadlines that other people set, and I didn't like any of it. So I actually appreciate the now over normal, because if you want me to do something, I'll do it for you, but I can't do it in an old framework that no longer fits anybody.
There you go. So that's kind of putting a stake in the ground, setting your boundaries, as well. Other thoughts on this idea of now over normal?
Everybody's gone quiet.
It's okay. We're used to silence here, Rosemary. We in fact cherish it, and we know because wonderful things happen after a period of silence. So we're used to kind of waiting, and the right person speaks when the right person speaks.
I think when you think about now over normal, it gives you a grounding presence. So when you think about now, it's about being present in the now. And so therefore, when you are, if you have that as your mantra or your mindset, it enables you to fully understand, absorb, and be in that moment as well.
Yes, wonderful. Like you were talking about your partner earlier, Simone, when you go for a walk, you go for a walk. And you're present with each other in that moment. When Carol and I are out with Molly during our daily walk, we're on the daily walk. When I'm here with you, I'm here with you. Wonderful line from Nigel Risner, my colleague in the UK, who I also mentioned in the Heart Leadership book. He says, when you're in the room, be in the room. Which is another way of looking at this. Paul, you were going to say?
I say my normal changed quite dramatically before COVID, and in my case, I was able to use that forced downtime to really embrace that change and shift into it. So I've got some very specific goals for next year that are clearer than they have ever been going into a new year.
So you've got a sense of clarity that perhaps you haven't had before.
Yeah, just by being forced to step out of what I was doing, but then COVID really just jolting us all out of putting this forced pause on the busyness of things, really allowed me to focus on what actually matters, what's important.
I've had lots of conversations with lots of different people about how the COVID has brought into being a new sense of awareness about what's important and equally what's not important.
I always had a view that I only worry about things that are directly in my ability to control or influence. And I think what happened this year is the amount of things that we could control and influence became very small.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing. There are, some people have referred to this idea of the controllables.
Yeah.
There are things that we can influence and there are things that we can't.
Yeah, and I think what became within our power to influence became a very small but potentially quite powerful at the same time.
And this is kind of a nice segue into flow, which is kind of the last piece of what I wanted to talk to you about today. And it's slide 4. I left slide 3 in the pack as a bit of a blank for you to maybe create a visual of your own practice. Just might be something that you might find useful. But slide 4 is, I just jotted down a couple of ideas about flow, and we've already tapped on a number of these. For the F, I put frequency. Just like your coffees, Rosemary, your walks, Simone. It's the frequency, isn't it? I know it's for me. It's like, we walk every day, rain, hail, or shine. Today we're out there in shorts and enjoying ourselves. A week ago we had the overcoats on, but it's the frequency of it. And I sort of jotted down. I mean, I put my blog posts every Monday, every Wednesday, every Friday. They're always at 8 o'clock Australian time. And the subscribers like that frequency. They like that regularity. What are some other examples that maybe might come into this frequency bit? Your cup of tea, Simone, is another example. Every night, cup of tea at the same time. It might be a different time physically, but
even if she, like the other night, she went to bed at, I think it was 10 p.m. and I went, I'm not missing out on my cup of tea. I normally go to bed, shortly, but I'm still having my cup of tea.
And it's the frequency that is what and I think it's the sort of starting place for flow. And that's followed by leverage. And I just jotted down, a couple of things. When we do regular things with folks, it helps with our relationship. It helps with reciprocity of relationships. It's the whole idea of small yet significant steps or quantum leaps. It means that we're never far away from things. If we're only focused on small yet significant steps, we're never far away from being able to make a change or make a modification. Any other thoughts? Maybe it's in the organic space. I'm trying to, and I'm succeeding where it's really pull, not push. It's kind of the natural progression of things. Focus on other people's needs. It's then natural that when you focus on other people's needs, it's a natural consequence that people help you with your needs. And the more we're not attached to getting back, the more that seems to work. It's an organic kind of process, and then it's the idea of noticing patterns and principles. One of the things I have noticed, which you alluded to, Simone, was this idea of presence. And we sort of talked about it. If we're in the room and we're in the room, if we're fully present on the walk, in the meeting, having the cup of coffee, whatever it is, if we're fully present, it seems to make a difference. Equally, when we're not fully present, I know Carol's often saying to me, because I can tend to, my mind wanders, she will say, are you listening? Just to remind me. Other ideas, thoughts here?
I don't know if everyone's on Seth Godin's mailing list. Does everyone follow Seth's daily blog? And he had that post the other day, Welcome and Problems. He was talking about having the satisfaction that comes from the ability to make a contribution. And, just in our language, saying you're welcome, no problem, these kind of quick responses. And he said, you're welcome is not the same as it's my pleasure. And no problem is not the same as I'm happy to help. So I've started to try and make that shift. This pull push thing is that when people approach you. So I said on the email, I CC'd my colleague, I said, it's our pleasure to help you resolve this issue. Please let me know if it comes up again. In the future, it'll be a lot quicker, something along that. And then my colleague said to me, she goes, that email you sent, Donovan, to Alan, she goes, that was a really nice impact, that first sentence around, it's our pleasure to help you. And then I just said, well, I actually stole that idea from Seth around, the ability, the privilege of being able to make a contribution at work. So yeah, I thought that bit kind of resonated with me when we were talking about that pull versus push.
I love that, Donovan. I really do. I'm actually going to take that now, and absolutely, because I think when you say, no problem, or you're welcome, it is actually natural. It's a part of almost a societal norm in ways. And it's almost the same as when someone says, how are you? Your natural thing is either good or busy. And I know that, since I awoke to that, I've always tried to actually put some context behind, well, actually, this is what we're up to. In a similar way, you said to draw me into the conversation before, Donovan, it's like, well, what's been going on with you, Simone? I went, well, I could have just said busy, but no, I actually framed what had been going on in my world. So I thank you, Donovan, for that, because I think I'm going to give that a try as well.
I think I'll dig out the Seth Godin email, because I had the same kind of thoughts, Simone, and Donovan, when I read the email. And it's interesting, like I went and had breakfast this morning in a place near where my car gets serviced. And as I was leaving, I said to the guy that served me, I just made a specific reference to something particular about the breakfast. And he was kind of taken aback because he wasn't expecting it. But it was just my way of being present. Because, often you say to someone, how you going? And you answer it yourself before they've got a chance sometimes, rather than being present. So I think this is the key to now over normal, and choosing now over normal. It's actually being present, really present in the moment. When people at restaurants, you say thank you and they say not a problem, it really annoys me, because it's not being present. You know what I mean? So good, Donovan. Well done, you. I'll dig out the email and I'll forward it to you all, because it'll be somewhere there. Other ideas? I'll just